All right, everybody. Let me just finishing up one thing, then I will actually I can do this right now. I'll send an invite out to Bobby, and then we will get going here. Okay. All right, that's good. So to finish this hockey business here. And then I'm ready for you. I got an injury that I have to just kind of deal with here. But should be just a sec. All right, I see you, Bobby. Just give me one sec. Okay. 1 second, Bobby. I just finished this one thing, then I'll click on you. There you are. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. Just finishing one quick thing, then I will be.
Okay, well, I can spout through my stuff in just a second while you're.
Yeah, go for it.
So anyway, sorry about that. So okay, so priorities on DraftKings: Cam Johnson, James Harden, Jokic. Harden and Jokic are both definitely fadeable with the nature of the slate, and they're not being like this awesome killer value that we know of yet. There is some decent ones, obviously Cam Johnson being one of those. One of Terrence Mann, Kennard, or Zubac. I still think Zubac is getting a little underprojected, but I don't think it's like, I think it's a little bit of a further one. It would probably go Mann for me first, and that's really just a price play because of where he's at 3,700. I don't mind Kennard either. Yeah, I don't care about a guy coming off a game when he's 4,600 and you're missing your highest usage offensive player. Jimmy Butler or Bam, preferably Butler for me. Rashawn Holmes, Ja Morant, and then one of at least Murray, Podol, White, and Keldon Johnson. I want to play Murray the most, but it's probably going to end up being Podol, who would be my second choice. Even though center is pretty strong, those are the priority plays. The other guys I'm trying to get in are LeVert, Mo Bamba, LaMelo. We need to know what happens with this Toronto situation. It would be Fred VanVleet if he plays. If not, it'd be Siakam. Even Siakam, if Fred VanVleet plays, is fine. OG or Barnes, and we just need to know who's playing. DeMar DeRozan, Triple J or Bane, and if you're not going to play, Ja Morant. Hassan Whiteside, Jalen Smith, Dorian Finney-Smith, Porzingis, Simons, McCollum, or Nurk. And I think obviously McCollum would be my preferred one of those guys, but I don't mind Nurk either. The other, like some weird thin value that could be valuable would be, I mean, like there's some of these guys are going to be overowned. Wade, Plumlee, Lamb, Kessler Edwards or Bembry, but that's just if you're starving for value. And then on FanDuel, preferred plays that are price difference. The price difference is LeVert, Hield, Trae Young, Harden, Jokic, Levine, Clarkson. That's my sort of initial rundown. And then
all right, let me ask you about a couple of guys.
Okay.
Now again, a lot of these are like part of the thin value, but I want to eliminate them. Okay. Did you look at Isaiah Hartenstein at all?
Oh, that's just no way that's ever gonna happen.
Okay. You mentioned
let me just double check something, because I get like the idea of it, but like why, like it just, I guess because we're starving for value, but like I mean,
I'm not touting it. I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm even looking that he's getting a little ownership. I just like, okay, so he played 26 minutes in a game they were down 30 and stayed on the court the whole time because they kept all the starters out because they went on a run. Yeah, maybe. I guess it's a long. Maybe if you play 150, he's in one or two of them. That's the way I would look at it.
Okay. 1 second. What do you think of? You already mentioned Rondo, Wade. Did you mention DeAndre Bembry at all?
I didn't mention Rondo. He's another.
Oh.
Rondo does belong in that same Wade or Rondo conversation, but yeah. Sorry, I should have. Sorry,
Okay.
what was the other one you said?
And what about DeAndre Bembry?
Yeah, I said Edwards or Bembry. I don't like either of them particularly, but they're on there. I still think there's news that could happen afterwards. I mean, we still have in Portland, DSJ is still questionable, and you never know on a back-to-back. Like, what if they sit McCollum, and then you just flip over to Simons? So if you do play those guys, you get a little bit of an edge in that realm. The thing I really can't get over, though, is why is Phoenix a 1.5 point favorite against Utah without Gobert and and Mitchell. Now I know Phoenix doesn't have Ayton or whatever, but like, it almost just makes me feel like something funny is going on, and I don't know that. Not saying
really. Not really.
That would be the same spread if they were both healthy, in my opinion.
No, what I mean, again, this is based on what I've been doing, what I've been noticing for 20 years is they usually on these home. I mean, they've been doing it forever on these home and homes. They really give the home team like a real healthy boost. Like they've been doing it forever, and that's why what I mean. Like that's why it seems as though the home team is getting just a little bit too much respect because it always has. And
so
I don't know whether
you think that when they were 17-point favorites the other night, that it's an 18.5 point difference? I mean, okay, I guess that they have Bogdanovich and O'Neal back, but that seems like a huge jump.
I'm just saying that whatever the spread would have been normal, you know what I mean? Like if this game were played 3 weeks from now instead of the day after, it would be like probably 3 points the other way. Like Phoenix would be like a 2 point favorite instead of a 5 point favorite instead of a 1 point favorite. They really do play in these home and homes. I mean, at least they used to. They used to think that was worth a couple of points just having the home and home like that.
Interesting. Okay. I think that's the worst spread of the day. It's one of my favorite bets. It would be just Phoenix.
Yeah, I like Phoenix as well, by the way.
Yeah. I really, for the life of me, can't understand it. But if the top team in the league and the other team is missing their 2 best players, and it's like, okay. I mean, I paid attention to point spreads every day, and this was the one that stood out to me more than any other one I've seen, probably this whole season.
All right, I want to throw another guy in there that you brought up in the early show. You may have you ran through a lot of names just now, so if you did, I apologize. You want to play any Lance Stevenson?
Long shot only, but yeah, I think it's you shouldn't like expect much here, and I don't even think anybody else would even talk about his name today. But I just think there's a path where things could happen could slant his direction. I mean, his projections are terrible. He doesn't have the forward eligibility, and guard and center are the loaded positions, but there is always a path for that guy. And if he starts off hot, that 17 minutes could turn into 28 or 30. They don't need to, they have all these guys that they can mix in minutes like Brissett and Lamb and Craig and all of that. And with LeVert there, it's a lot less likely that Lance would just get like the full go crazy Lance. Hey, it's all you. But still, like, this is a lot of people missing. I mean, and it just feels like there's an outside enough chance where I think you could make that play. I would say I definitely think if you're going to make whatever a 150, put him in 5 of them, maybe somewhere in that range.
What do you think of Gary Trent?
It depends on what happens with Toronto. If nobody's in, he's still fine at 5K, but if anybody's out, he gets a big bump.
And the guys we're looking at are who?
Van Vliet and Barnes.
Okay. So if they're all in, then Trent's just kind of like whatever. But if they're out, then if either of them are out, then Trent gets a decent sized bump. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is at 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a little bit of it's a little little tricky. So I am going to be playing, as I mentioned, on DraftKings. I'm going to be playing Luca. It's just what I've just kind of decided to do. I'm not really getting to that much of him on FanDuel, but I'm definitely going to take a shot with him on DraftKings. He'll give me a different build all of a sudden. Not even different build. I mean, just to get me different really, really quickly.
Yep.
And I definitely have to keep an eye on this on the Toronto thing, because I currently have builds with like Van Vliet in on FanDuel. Not anything big, but enough where I have to make sure he's playing. What else? You getting to any? I'm getting a lot of Whiteside on FanDuel.
Yeah, I think Whiteside is a good pivot on DK on FanDuel. It's fine. It's, we know there's a ceiling. It's obviously, it's not a good matchup for him. You don't have a sloppy team that gets their shot blocked a lot, but he is cheap. And
they don't have a lot of. I mean,
I agree.
I could handle him. I mean,
what's that? There's no handling him though. He doesn't really get any usage exactly.
Okay.
You'd think maybe, but Biyombo's also like with all the things about Biyombo, that's why it's so. Biyombo's going to have ownership tonight. I'm not playing Biyombo, but one thing
I'm not playing him either.
He is a good defensive player. So
I got a couple of guys I have a lot of on FanDuel.
Okay.
This guy I have a lot on FanDuel is Jaylen Brunson. He's 5,400 over there, and then I'm going back to Cole Anthony remaining cheap on FanDuel also.
Cole Anthony. I should have said him too. Sorry, good call there.
Yeah. So my guards are on FanDuel for the most part. Brunson, Harden, and actually Harden I can play at small forward, of course. What other position would he be except for small forward?
Yeah, I know. That's like he's like back in college again. That's what he played in college.
I think also, by the way, that Phoenix Utah game the other day, I don't think they had Bojan. I don't think they had Conley either.
Yeah, they didn't have those guys. It's true, but even still, you're still missing the two best. I swear, if that had happened overnight, even on a back-to-back, I think you'd see a very, very different line in this game. That's just my take, but again, we don't have to agree on it. We can just bet on Phoenix, which is what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, right.
They got those guys back, but I still think this is a game that Phoenix should control. In fact, I really do think that all things being equal, if it wasn't a home back-to-back and all that stuff, that I think Phoenix would be favored. I think it would be a pick 'em at best if all the guys were healthy for Utah. And I know Phoenix is still missing DeAndre Ayton, but they've been just fine without him.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's sort of the overall rundown of this. I think there's some interesting. We had Steve L saying that Lance is not available on FanDuel. Is that correct? Let me just make sure about that one, because that sounds weird, like that he wouldn't even be in the player pool. I have no idea how that could even happen.
That's really funny if that's the case.
I'm sure he's on there. I haven't heard that anywhere else. But I haven't heard anything about Lance Stevenson anywhere else either. That is weird. Did they give him a different name?
I'm going to look at this.
Real? That is so strange. I've never seen that before. Where there's no injury question. It's not even an injury thing. He's not on. That's crazy.
I can't help myself.
Get it together, FanDuel.
I'm going to have to play. I have this no stud lineup on FanDuel that I really just kind of have to play.
I just, for the record, I won't fade Harden in a lineup on FanDuel. I don't see what you're gaining, but I don't get it gain enough by doing it. But I think on DraftKings, it's probably it's not like the build should be paying up. And I am playing Harden and Jokic together, partially because Jokic is not going to be that high owned.
There is no Lance Stevenson.
That's so weird. Good call there, Steve L. Why? I mean, we don't need to it's not like Lance Stevenson's some great play anyway, but there's always that long shot with that guy. It just doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Terrence Mann is super cheap. Yep, he is. Favorite power forward center on FanDuel. Sheets. The guys that I'm using a lot of. I ended up with like weird guys. Like I ended up paying down more at power forward, a little more than I thought I was going to, and I'm probably going to mix it around. I even have Kleber in a lineup at 3,900 just because the shot blocking upside is always, if he gets a couple blocks and steals, like
you don't have to talk to me and talk me into Kleber.
Yeah, I have weird one, like another weird lineup with Plumlee in it on FanDuel. He's 4K. It's not my favorite. My other lineup has.
I like Wendell Carter. I like PJ Washington. Who else? Let me just see. Is Jokic a power forward over there?
He's a power forward center.
Lovely.
I love Jokic over on FanDuel. It's a lot easier to get him in. I mean, Jokic should absolutely massacre tonight, right? Like,
he could do it. He could do whatever he wants.
This is a huge mismatch, and he should be like 40% owned on FanDuel. I love that.
I have 4 power forwards, and one I got. One I got to get rid of. I have Anunoby, PJ Washington, Kleber, and I like
Anunoby.
And I have Wendell Carter too. I just can't quite find. I don't know why can't see him. And I do have some of this Isaiah Hartenstein business.
And you reminded me. I forgot somebody, Mobley. But I mean, with Jared Allen just being announced back in, a little less interested in Mobley than I was. But he's going to be like 50% owned on FanDuel tonight. So
Mobley.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say, I love you. I don't think anybody talked before. Like I've been talking about it, Evan Mobley, since before the draft. I think he's the best player. I think he's gonna be one of the best 5 players in the league. But it's interesting to see a guy with that ownership who hasn't eclipsed 40 fantasy points in months. And even when he did, it was like 40, 41. So to have that kind of ownership at 6,900, it just seems like a bad theoretical play in terms.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he may end up in a lineup or two of mine where I feel like I've gotten different, but I don't think that there's any reason you need to play him. I'm fading Biyombo tonight, so he could end up in a little buy-in that's got a large field again. Where if I'm really really different, but I'm not doing it. I'm not falling for it. Especially on FanDuel, like at 6,300, there's pretty much no way in the world I'm going to get to him over there. I understand he's had some good games. If he beats me, he beats me, but I am not doing it.
So what do you think's going on with this Toronto stuff?
I don't know. I'm gonna dig.
God forbid I can go to dinner, right? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, there's no way that's gonna happen tonight. There's no way.
I am, so I have to do something about this. I guess I can't play anybody from that game.
James Harden is now questionable.
Oh my God.
At least it's at 7:30. I mean, there goes the slate, right?
For real?
If James Harden's out, then we have all the value we need, but we don't get to spend it on James Harden. I mean, this is
and you got to play all those guys from Brooklyn.
Yep. I mean, Patty Mills will become like a freaking
and Bruce Brown and all of it. I mean,
it's hard to. The thing is, they have a lot of other bodies, so like Bruce Brown would definitely make the list for me, but he'd be way further down it. I would prefer Kessler Edwards, Cam Thomas, Patty Mills, obviously, but yeah, he would be in there somewhere. And wait, who else is? And Day'Ron Sharpe is out, so. How many minutes can you play LaMarcus Aldridge? We have no Claxton. We have no Aldridge. We have no I mean, these guys were going to get minutes. That's like 36 minutes gone from that team. And then if Harden's gone, that's like.
Yeah, Brooklyn on FanDuel Sportsbook, Brooklyn and Nets just went off the board.
Wow. I mean, these usually mean they're not playing. That's one thing.
Goodness gracious.
It also makes Jokic a tiny bit less appealing because
he's going to get a quarter and a half or whatever.
Because he might, but I still think, we keep seeing it though. These guys can hang tough. I mean, tell Patty Mills to go out there and carry the team on his back. That's all he does for the Australian national team all the time. Why can't he go out there and score like 40 real life points and keep him in there?
So it's a hamstring?
That's a bad one too.
Kobe, James Johnson season. I like that.
Yeah, you'll probably end up with some of it. It's going to make some sense. Wait. Harden out hurt. Hold on, Adam. Do we have officially that he's out? Because I've got him just turned into questionable, but Adam's saying he's out. So maybe something. I mean, this is how these things happen.
No, he's asking if Harden out would hurt Jokic.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Let's see. Mobley, by the way, Mobley does need time to develop in general, but he is developed. He is freaking awesome. No, not your bad, Adam. My bad. Misread the question. But Mobley is freaking in real life. That guy is freaking awesome, man. Yeah, exactly. Look, that's right. Dunbar. Although actually Embiid, I noticed his ownership. I think his ownership actually climbed, but everybody did think that game was just an automatic blowout, and they were up, double digits a lot of the game. Just minus 1.5, I think is the best way to bet that. And of course, it could happen. Utah could put together a great game and win this game. But I wanted to mention it for DFS purposes because I'm still not completely sold that there may not be some other pieces of news in that game. But that's just pure speculation on my part, to be honest. But I'll tell you what, while I was doing my research in the background today, we certainly had a good golf pairing to watch. It was on the tougher course with Rom and DJ and Justin Thomas, just all, especially through like the first 11 holes, they were just killing it. I mean, they've been awesome. So that was pretty cool to watch, actually.
Dean Wade
definitely gets a bump down with Jared Allen back, by the way, but he's still viable because he's 3,100. But it's again first game type of situation. And if we get this Brooklyn news, I mean, Jesus. Ugh. I mean, here's what needs to happen, with basketball. For DFS basketball to really keep growing and everything, they need to have a rule where, like, it's got to be like 3 hours before game time, and that's your roster unless the guy's announced injured, in which case, like, I don't know. There's got to be something. It just can't be like this.
Yeah.
It's stressful. I find myself grouchy even when I'm doing well. I don't want to be like that. I want to be positive, Bobby.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're stressing me out. Let's see. Any other things popping in here? Because I'm probably going to get out of here in like 8 minutes to try and build and scour to see what I can find about this. So you guys, the Discord overall around the country was out earlier.
Yeah, Discord went down.
So sorry if anybody was trying to reach on there, because I couldn't get on there for most of the day, and I was trying to. It made me realize I probably should get some people's, like, some of the guys like Rody and stuff. I actually have his number and I'm Facebook friends or whatever. But like I was like, oh my God, how do I talk to Rody?
Harden. Looks good. My name is Luca. John Morant. Ja looks good still.
No, I'm not skipping all the 7 o'clock games. The guys who I like in those games, I still think that you have a viable play on one of these Clippers. The long shot one is Zubac. I don't even think it's completely wrong to play Hartenstein, but like if it was like the last game of the day, then maybe I would be open to it. Just feels like a little bit fishy to do it early.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's like, and the funny part is I like Hartenstein. I know he's going to get minutes.
It's definitely atrocious, but that's fun.
So one of the Clippers values on FanDuel, on DraftKings I like Jalen Suggs. I like Cole Anthony on FanDuel. I like Franz Wagner on DraftKings, but I don't love any of them. And the sneaky one is Mo Bamba. Like if people are gonna play 20% Bismack Biyombo,
right?
Play Mo Bamba. That's my take. The only thing you get better with Biyombo is that he's in the later game.
You like Vassell at all?
It's roulette with those guys outside of the 4 main guys for me. but I think he's viable. Like he can hit it. He can hit 30 plus, and you get to buy some time. So I don't mind it. It's just not my. He's still got minutes with Lonnie Walker, and you're going to have. Well, I guess you don't have as many other guys, but Doug McDermott is going to get run. There's just a lot of guys out there, but I do like Vassal's game. He's just a young guy and has a chance, every night. But I don't think there's anything special about him. I'm on the other early games. I really like the Charlotte Indy game, but I think the right thing to do is to play LeVert with LaMelo on the other side on FanDuel.
I agree with that.
And in terms of favorite game stacks, they just changed drastically for me because like if Harden is out, I mean that you're gonna have to stack one side of that game. Sometimes you have to look at team stacks rather than game stacks. Unfortunately, had I done that and included Embiid and made it into like a game stack instead of just playing 4 Raptors because I got all the Raptors right, it would have been really nice for me. But I didn't go that route with it. The other stacks, Memphis, San Antonio would probably be the best one. Sacramento, Atlanta, and you play Sacramento. You pray Sacramento keeps it close, but Atlanta's got everybody back, so you're really just looking at Trey probably.
What's that?
Mitchell Robinson available.
Okay.
But he was just downgraded like 10 minutes ago and to questionable after being announced in, and then he was just reconnected. Anyway. Mitch Rob is out of play anyway, so all right. Yeah, the Rondo thing is just it's so hard for me to guys in the first game of the night who are going to play 15, 16, maybe 20 minutes if things go well, to play those guys when there's should be more opening up later on.
Right.
All right, that's nothing serious. I'm going to be out here in a few minutes, guys, so any more questions, fire them on in.
Yeah.
Is Vucevic solid to play? I feel like most Bulls have been more. I think the best play on the Bulls by far is DeMar DeRozan. But Vooch is a good player, but he's 9,600. I mean, I'd rather play the other 90. I'd rather play DeJounte Murray. I'd rather play Ja Morant. And he's also center's loaded, so I would probably try to stay away from that personally. But I think he's fine to answer that question. And unless we specify a site, I'm always going to assume DraftKings unless I know you for a long time and know you're only talking about FanDuel. So I'm always going to assume DraftKings on that one. I'm just going to double check Vuce's price on FanDuel. 8,800, that's pretty reasonable. On FanDuel, he's definitely in play. Not for me on DraftKings, but again, he has a ceiling. I like Garland. I didn't have any of them. I just said I'd always like to play him in these kinds of spots. And I just think that playing him on the first game of the night is probably wrong. And it's especially wrong now once we have all this other stuff to wait on.
Right.
But do I expect him to have a good game in this game? I do. I think this is a good matchup for him. On a smaller slate, he would have been one of the guys I would go for. Just hard to prioritize Garland basically at the same price, especially, with Morant and DeJounte Murray.
Let me just see something. Yeah, I still have a line on Brooklyn, Denver.
What's the line?
Denver -4.
So it's basically the same as it was. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably make a little bet on that because it's
supposed to just take Denver, right? I mean, like
yeah, just play Denver. Just play them, bet them to cover. That game was. I always stay away from the Brooklyn games with all the things because it's really hard. It's a really hard team to peg in terms of spreads. Like in terms of winning or losing, I'll bet against them every time they play one of the top teams because they always lose. But Denver's not one of the top teams. They're solid though, and we don't know about Barton either, which doesn't mean a ton, but it means a little. All right, what else have we got here? I think I'm gonna have to run in a minute, but let's see.
I still do like that. What?
I like this question a lot from Sensei J. Like,
what?
So Jalen Smith, I think, is like the wild card of wild cards today. Like this, there's a legit chance that he plays 0 minutes. I think there's another chance because they don't need to play big. Like even because Utah's gonna go small also for at least 18, 16 minutes of the game if somehow the big guy Whiteside plays 32, which is a lot for Whiteside. Utah's going to go small part of the game. And would they play Jalen Smith, or would they just do what they've been doing and what they did the other night, which is move Cam Johnson to the 5? That's what my fear is.
Yeah, I think that see, that's the thing. I didn't know what the spread on the Denver game was before the news came out of questionable. I wasn't on top of that.
Before was that?
I could find out. I want to see what the line movement.
Yeah, I'm going to do some digging, and I've got to build.
Just give me 1 second.
These days, I wait till after 6:30 to build my lineups because I just can't. There's just too many things There's too many things that are going to happen that sort of like negate everything, all the work you do beforehand.
Yeah. So no. So yeah, it started off Brooklyn -2.5.
Yeah.
So
no. I my opening line today was Denver -2.5. I have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're factoring in a little bit of questionableness.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if Harden's out, it jumps to 7 or 8. You don't think so?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, maybe give or take a point or two. All right, guys. Well, good luck, everybody. I will be in Discord and try to help as much as I can. I'm trying to figure out what this question is. Who are the favorite Jeans back on the key now with the Brooklyn doing that night? And I have no idea what that means. Sheets, am I misreading that one too? That sentence?
Who are the favorite Jeans back on the key now? The Brooklyn doing that night, but any other? Favorite Jeans back on the key that night, but any other? You know what? It's probably they probably do something at Barclays Center. They probably do something with putting the logo on or something like that.
Carnes, okay, I don't want the blame when Lance puts up 12 fantasy points because I am telling you right now, this is a very thin play. But I love it, man. I love it, buddy. Go out there, ride or die with it. But I'm telling you, it's not what I'm going to do.
I might do it.
Even if I had 10 lineups in the 600, I don't think that he'd be in one of them. But I'd probably consider it. Unless somebody else gets announced out, then everything.
I really like my
you like your 600 build?
I do.
All right. Well, good luck, everybody. I'm going to finish building.
I tell you what, it does not have. It does not have Harden.
I don't think that's that. On DraftKings, I actually think he's over projected. Now he's going to be in the 20s probably. So if he plays, he's probably even a better play because I think his ownership's going to go way down. All right. Good luck, everybody. I will see you guys in Discord.
All right. See you later, guys.